Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Akabane101 and welcome to Warhammer 40,000 Dawn of War Dark Crusade. We're going to be jumping on into a Tau campaign, mainly because I've been working on a Tau army known as the Sasya. If you've never seen them before, let's go ahead and switch our, what do they call it? Our color scheme. Where's the color scheme? Hey, oh there it is. Oh, it is under select army, there we go. It's like these guys right here looking good. I noticed that the actual models, though, in 40k, like the plastic models that you get, don't actually have leg armor. There's just all cloth down here, and their cute little hooves, which I covered in dirt because I didn't feel like painting them. Because I'm a monster. What can I say? Anyway, few mods installed. Bug fix mod, camera mod, no fog in the game mod. Very simple, very straightforward, as close to vanilla as you can get, while also being able to run on modern hardware nicely, cleanly, with no major issues. We're going to be looking at the cutscenes as we go along here, and have some fun as we go through it. So let's go ahead and hit new game. We'll play on normal difficulty. If you want me to go into the difficulty differences, I mean, I'll probably mention them as we play, but all you need to know, the only way to play the game is on normal mode. Hard mode, the game cheats. Easy mode, you cheat. So it's the only way to do it. Only way.
The planet Kronus, beset on all sides by the tides of war, this once quiet colony became a savage battlefield. 7 armies clashed on this one world, each refusing to back down, each convinced it was in the right. From beneath the sands of Kronus' central desert came the Necrons, ancient machines bent on eradicating all life. But another evil already had its eyes on the planet. From the depths of the warp, the demonic forces of chaos arrived to enforce their claim. To oppose these fearsome powers, the planet's rulers in the Tau Empire sent their elite soldiers and sophisticated battlesuits into the fray. From the mighty Imperium of Man came the Imperial Guard, there to secure Kronus for the glory of the God Emperor. Like a green tide, the Orc Horde descended on Kronus, caring little for others' claims and sowing destruction in its wake. The Eldar, ancient enemies of the Necrons, emerged from their webway to pursue their own agenda on Kronus. And last came the Space Marines, finest and most uncompromising of the Imperium's soldiers. Seeing a world beset by aliens and heretics, they undertook a great purge. A dark crusade had begun. It could only end with the total victory of one of these factions, and the total defeat of all others.
Alright, the Tau Empire. You are Shazo Kai, military commander of Tau forces on Kronus. While others fight for greed, pride, or conquest, you fight for the greater good. From high-tech battlesuits to fearsome auxiliaries, your forces stand ready to reclaim Kronus for the Tau Empire. Etherio Shiores, I'm really bad at pronouncing Tau names, has declared that you must push back the invaders. You will not fail. So yes, Kronus is one of the home planets of the Tau Empire. One of the planets that the Tau Empire has decided to hold on to. The Necrons are reawakening, unfortunately, on this planet, and it's been considered a very important place for many of the other factions within Dark Crusade. Dark Crusade is considered my favorite of all the Dawn of War games, so I'm going to have a lot of fun jumping back on into it. It's a very difficult game, especially when you get to the last headquarters to fight. But regardless, let's jump into it and see how we fare.
The rise of the Necrons and the arrival of other powers on Kronus was a threat the Tau Empire could not ignore. With their doctrine built firmly around the so-called greater good, the Tau could not tolerate seeing a thriving colony taken away from them. The Ethereals, leaders of the Empire, responded to the distress signals from Kronus by sending some of their best and brightest to retake the world. Aunel Shiores was among the most lauded of a new generation of the ethereal caste. He would be responsible for restoring proper order to this wayward world. With him came the military leader, Shas Okais, a student of the teachings of Commander Puretide. Okais brought a massive force of fire-cast warriors, as well as auxiliaries from the Tau's allied races, the Krut and the Vespid. Tau ground forces landed in the city of Tashin, or Ashadis, to use its true imperial name. And from there began the Crusade to retake the planet as a whole.
And we're in, boys. Let's do it. We're with our Tau strike force. I'm going to go over everything as if you haven't seen Dark Crusade before, but it's going to be pretty straightforward. Basically, this is the overworld map, and it's very similar to that of a tabletop experience. There's different provinces in the world that we need to take over, and we start on this lovely land here with a beautiful tutorial that you have to skip every time. It's classic. Soulstorm does this as well. The nice thing is you start with your own lovely little stronghold, and everyone else starts with a stronghold as well. And as the game goes on, everyone's stronghold is going to get tougher to beat and more difficult to take over. Thankfully, we're playing as the Tau, which is arguably the hardest stronghold to actually take over, so we're already one step ahead of the game. There are some bases that are really difficult to take on in the end game, and it's an absolute nightmare because you get very little strategic points, which is the requisition or resource or minerals in the game that lets you actually continue on and win. Why should we take over other provinces? Well, we want to get closer to the enemy HQs and destroy them, but as we're going along here, we're going to get various bonuses, such as the veteran units, such as the stealth team here, or the fire warrior bodyguard. These are units that you can then purchase under the honor guard here, and you're going to need them as you go on to defeat your enemy headquarters and take over their provinces. On top of this, there's going to be other provinces that carry special abilities, such as this bulwark, which will give you various benefits within that, such as reducing the cost of garrisoning troops within provinces you control. You can increase the amount of defense, or the number that is on the province that you're on, by simply adding more units there. And you could also build structures, and later on you can send forward structures depending on the various buffs you get, or move twice per turn, or move anywhere across the map, save for headquarters. So it's pretty cool. It's really well thought out. The design of the overall campaign map is brilliant, and all the structures you build inside of the RTS mode of each of the provinces will come back into play if you've taken over that province and someone else comes to attack you. Which is really nice. So it might be good to plan ahead as you go into these little battles here. And each province will also garner you more planetary requisition. This will allow you to buy those bodyguards, buy those reinforcements, and prepare for incoming attacks. So it's always good to know where to push out and who to do the most damage to at any given time. As the Tau, we actually get access to multiple different lands to go and attack. I will say a Vespid Elder Strain would be great. These are honor guard, basically all elite units in one squad, or all leader units in one squad, which makes them very, very powerful early game units. They can also capture points. Vespids, I don't believe can, but most units that you're going to get as honor guard will have that. Forward base, if we start pushing down towards to grab this, could be useful, but it's very requisition heavy, and we don't really have the province infrastructure to fully take control of all of that. I think pushing up towards killing Space Marines in Eldar, though, wouldn't be too bad. I don't mind fighting Chaos. Necrons is relatively straightforward. Imperial Guard will probably be a problem, as well as the Orcs, as Orcs are a pain in the butt to kill, as their vehicles have lots of disruptor weapons, like cannonballs and things like that, practically. I'm not calling them by their default name because I don't know them, but at the same time, they're dicks. Regardless, though, we're going to go to the Panrea Lowlands. We're going to try and get ourselves a veteran stealth suit team. This team is really good at destroying buildings and other vehicles, and of course, are invisible, so they're very difficult to notice unless you... I don't even think they have keen sight in this version of the game because it's vanilla. So they literally have to have detection to see invisible units, but so do we. We're going to go against the Space Marines. We get a nice little overview of how difficult the Space Marines are. The strength is 3, so quite low. And if you don't remember what that means to have a strength of 3 defense, it'll give you a little pointer here, such as the enemy commander is a skilled combatant, as they always are. And the enemy forces are likely to consist of basic infantry. Enemy has a single base. Big key thing here. Every base is an AI opponent. So if it has 2 bases, that's 2 AI you're up against. You're not just against 1 AI that has 2 bases. You're against 2 AI that have 1 base each, which means they can potentially have twice the amount of resources that you have. I also believe you can auto-resolve battles when you're attacking, kind of like in Total War. I wouldn't recommend doing that, but I'm sure there has been someone out there that's beaten the game exclusively doing auto-resolve. Which, I guess if you want to play it that way, like a true tabletop, you can do it. One more thing I'll just point out before we move along is if you're attacking a province that is adjacent to its leader, then the leader will send all of his honor guard, including himself, into that battle. So we'll have an enemy commander right off the rip able to attack us. So we'll be a little bit of a problem, but we have our own commander to deal with him. So we're just going to jump on in and take him out. Let's do it. Let's do it. And we could also attack the Space Marines immediately after, which usually could be quite fun to do a battle this early on in the game. Oh, another mod I have installed is the QWERTY mod. All that is it's all your buttons are mapped to QWER and whatnot, so shouldn't be too bad. Let's get jetpacks, couple of builders, start sending out our boy. Get our stealth suits moving out. Nice. Looking good. You can be Control 3, Control 5, Control 4. Send them on out. And we can always have our guys be on a shift right-click adventure, which is always great. And you can even combine that with the jetpack movements as well, which is so great. I love it. Okay, we're also going to go ahead, build ourselves some power, and we're going to start getting some Fire Warriors up and running. Fire Warriors are our beautiful ranged unit. That do range damage. Who would have guessed? I didn't know that. I didn't know that range units did range damage, but it's quite a lot. Our stealth suits suck early on, but there are buffs that we can give them that'll allow them to do some dank-ass damage. We're going to do a little jump pack action here. And then we're going to do another jump pack. And then we're going to just combo those in together. Nice. Good job, everybody. Jump on in there, make sure our Fire Warriors are coming out, living the dream, get another Fire Warrior squad. You may notice a theme as we play through this. Fire Warriors are freaking insane. They do so much damage if built correctly that you might be surprised. Actually, we're not going to build this listening post because I want more Fire Warriors. Until we have the Fire Warriors that I desire, we're gonna do things the way that we want. Also notice you can't attach your Shazo Kais, I guess they pronounce it as, in your main squad, so, oh well. It is what it is, you gotta deal with it. Nice, they sent in some scouts. Luckily, we're anti-infantry, so not too worried about that. Not too worried about that at all. Let's go ahead and get ourselves another Fire Warrior squad. Why not? I would love a Vespid squad as well. 150-30 would be great, and if we can go push ourselves to get something along... Oh, hello. You know what? You can just go jump over here. We're going to ignore the Relic point down here because we're not going to get hammerheads anytime soon. We just want to get lots and lots and lots of strategic points. And now we can just be on a nice little shift right-click binge as we take over this second and third base location. Great expansion points. He has his force commander out and ready to go. I don't think he... I think he wants to do that, but, you know, it is what it is. That's the force commander that came in from the HQ. So that works out for us overall. Since we want some Vespids, let's go do this. Nice. So we're going to get some Vespids out. Fantastic anti-building units. Never underestimate Vespids. We're going to now start auto-reinforcing these Fire Warrior teams. It's a bit pricey, 70 per model, but then we get a total of 6 models. And then what we're going to build our way up towards is this path to enlightenment. 200, 200. Look at that. We already have 200 gas. We are living the dream right now. We're going to have plenty of resources to spend. But once our units are upgraded, we'll start getting some listening posts, which will protect our main buildings. But I just want to have a lot of HP out and ready to go. We are getting lit up by this turret squad, but now we have our lovely Vespid squad here. So they're going to go engage and rip and tear. Destabilization, as it's called. I would love to mod that and call it rip and tear, because it quite literally is. As you can see, that turret went down relatively quickly. And because we're not playing Titanium Wars or, I think Firestorm over Kalrava, I think it's... Or is it Kalrava, or is it, I forget. I always forget lore-wise the names of everything. Cronus. Firestorm over Cronus. That's the one. Because we're not playing those mods, or, of course, Ultimate Apocalypse with Soulstorm, we don't really have to worry about the fact that our weapons are just, like, standardized... like anti-infantry weapons. They can still kill buildings. And it's one of the reasons why I actually ultimately decided to go with more a vanilla experience overall. And wow, you're almost done that. So you know what? I'll just tell you to run on down to the Relic point. By the way, this game is made by Relic Entertainment. How convenient that the most powerful strategic points in the game are called Relic points. I love it. We're still kind of hurting on requisition. Obviously, a listing post will increase that requisition income, but we're just about on the cusp of being able to make ourselves a Shrine of Enlightenment. There we go. Beautiful. Now we can start focusing on getting our listing posts up and running, which are about 100 apiece. Let's try and get our forward points ready to go as well. Oh, you know what? You can go ahead and jump on over here, grab this strategic point. You can go build a listening post down here. Look at that. We just destroyed that chapel barracks. Let's go tickle our way up north. Use our Vespids for what they are truly used for, which is a bit of sight, but also a lot of damage. Look at this. Just gonna shred these damage numbers straight into that big building. And then these guys can go disrupt the Space Marines with a grenade, which usually spawns right in on one of our models. But it's really not that bad. I'm going to jump them back, though, because now they've taken some significant damage. We'll just blast away. Like it's nothing. Not even a big deal, man. Look at that. Our stealth suits do 6 to 8 damage. Our fire warriors, on the other hand, 42 to 48 DPS per model. Big numbers overall. Send our units up forth, rather our Earth cast. Now that our Shrine of Enlightenment has been upgraded, we're going to start upgrading our target lock as well when we can, but we're specifically getting advanced pulse rifles. So this is basically the strat, the build, as it is known. And now that we have just a bit more resources, we're going to start building a few more power, because what we want to do is make our fire warriors have ludicrous damage and range. And now that we have the Path of Enlightenment, we've also unlocked the ability to get some broadside battle suits. But something even possibly more useful is the ability to get some upgrades for our warriors. So you can get the Shazui, which is the leader. And we can get shield drones, which is a reactive drone in the vanilla version of the game. If you played Ultimate Apocalypse, you'll know that it's actually a passive buff with an active ability that overdrives it. But in this case, it's going to be a little bit more simple, a little bit more old school of a style, which is fine. No savior protocols or anything like that, of course. Look at that. We only get 2 Pathfinders on our spawned-in Pathfinder team. No rail guns or anything like that. No crazy kill team nonsense. Although I do love the new kill team Pathfinders. They're actually insane. I've been watching a lot of videos on those. Can't wait to paint them. Oh my gosh, if you haven't played the new kill team, you're missing out, man. You're missing out. Kill team is so good. I know a lot of people were like, man, them new kill team rules sure do suck, but I was one of the people that came in on the new kill team, so I have no idea what the previous kill team was like. I'm sure it was great. So as you can see, we can get a fusion blaster on all 3 of our models, which are XV-15s, not XV-25, so they're a lot more flimsy, which is why you want to get the target lock up and running, as well as the buff that we got for them, because right now our guy is at 19 to 25 range damage, but this fusion blaster is 101 to 121 damage per second. And this is just on one model right now. We're going to get our leader, the Shazvri, and we're going to use him for the big damage. It always feels good. So really the goal in all of these provincial battles is to destroy the enemy headquarters. But of course, like I've said before, you got to set yourself up for a victory. And because we're right on the border of the Space Marines, El Space Marines, we definitely do not want to get absolutely dunked on So at the end of the day, it is what it is. We're going to take a little longer here to get everything handled, and to be fair, we're also probably going to deal with the fact that the stronghold might die before we really do want it to. But that's okay. For the sake of time and all that is glory, we're just going to make sure that we have what we want. So we have what are called the posts of the Tau. We can get one that gives us hammerhead gunships, but more Kroot-related things. Or we can get the Kuyan command post, or Kuyan command post, which is about more research for your guns, but you also get more Kroot hounds and weird things like that. I don't know. I kind of don't know exactly. I think this one's... either one gives you advanced research, but I'm not entirely sure how it all works out. Really, all we want is the Kuyan command post so we can get targeting optics. And you can only choose one, which sucks because I want my my hammerheads, but, you know, it is what it is. Tau are absolutely ridiculous, so in terms of damage output.
Cut them down.
And with like barely any setup time as well.
Don't let them break.
And the nice thing is you can give them 2 commanders if you really want to. We have our Pathfinder team here, so we can just go ahead and annihilate their commander. Look at him just melt. All anti-infantry weapons. Feels good, man. No big deal. And it's gone. We're going to send our troops over. Good job, everybody. We're killing them. We're killing them with damage. So one downside, of course, will be that all our listening posts are pretty much exposed. And I'm pretty sure if the enemy just attacks you in these circumstances, they do get buildings just planted down. The AI you'll find in Dark Crusade, and I think also in Soulstorm, just cheats. It just cheats because they know that the AI does need a little bit of an edge. In some cases, otherwise you're dealing with a brand new HQ just plopped down with no assistance, and it would just be a steamroll. So it'd be like no reason to actually do anything, right? Well, okay, we're just for the sake of it, we're gonna drop down this this here vehicle beacon, but this thing's gonna blow up anyway before it's done, and the Kuyan command post isn't gonna be done by then. Oh well, I'm okay with that. Feels good, man. And there you go. We get 1 war gear. War gear is earned as shown here, like 3-to-1 kill ratio, or getting your conquests in. The big one is actually defenses, which is nice to take provinces next to an enemy model or enemy HQ because they usually want to try and get out. So if you can block them in, they're just going to keep funneling into your defenses, and then you get yourself the 1 defense, the 3, the 5, and that's extra war gear for you. Defeated enemies is related to actually defeating a faction from the overworld game board. But one nice thing about taking this location, we've now unlocked the Veteran Stealth Team, which is a bunch of XV-25s. Oh, feels good, man. Big, beastly fusion blaster goodness to blow up all the things. It feels good to be a freaking Tau guy, because we love to blow everything up. One thing, if you've seen my previous Dark Crusade playthroughs, I always love to upgrade the helmet, or whatever gives me the ability to see invisible units, because invisible units are assholes, even though I helm them myself, and I love invisible units, but I hate them so much. How could you do this to me? Anyway, Chaos literally can upgrade the Marines to have invisible units, and it's not like the original game, where you have to decloak and then shoot. No, you're still invisible while you're shooting. Ugh, insanity. So having sensor array or something along the lines that can allow us to see the enemy is always great. And I just realized the lights on his head actually go from a nice red to a ominous green. Very cool. All right, we can see infiltrated units, and our health bar goes up by 200. Not major in the grand scheme of things, but that's okay. We're gonna hit end turn and see if the Space Marines go for an attack. Because if they do on us, that's a free defense. Because him attacking us is not going to be nearly as bad as what we just experienced trying to get in there. And, of course, he's going to take all our strategic points because we didn't really capture them all. And we didn't really prepare for anything. But you may notice what just happened here. The Eldar just moved in to their next location. They already had this right off the rip. And for some reason, the Space Marines decided not to move out. And they get Honor Guard for having area number... Actually, they just get Honor Guard because they're dirty cheaters, because they shouldn't have... They shouldn't have Honor Guard. I also made an error here. I should have went to Commander and purchased my XV25s for 250 requisition. We got to be careful with our honor guard. We don't want them to die because that's a huge drain on our requisition. The only time I permit my honor guard to die is in a headquarters battle to the death. We want to use them aggressively, but we just don't want to leave them in the end game of most of these battles when we're really pushing for the final attack. So we're going to leave the Space Marines alone for now. I want to kill the Eldar because they're kind of in their own little realm here, and they're just doing their own thing. Bulwark would also be a really nice grab. Let's read this here. Gain control of production facilities, making defensive preparations easier, which reduces the cost of garrisoning troops, which is very nice for defenses. Likewise, reduces the amount of planetary requisition recovered when withdrawing those troops. So you can spend money on troops and spend less money to get rid of those troops. And also, it doesn't affect cost of retraining Honor Guard, unfortunately. So, not the greatest thing ever, but something nice to have. It also could be good to push into the Eldar and then maybe sneak on down towards the Orcs. Might also be great to grab this spaceport here in the near future. This map isn't too bad. You have to collect builders or servitors on the map, bring them to your base, and then when you have enough, you win, which is nice. So it's really not too bad. Usually just against 2 AI. And if you're sneaky enough and aggressive enough, you should be able to take them out, no problem. Regardless, though, I'm going to go ahead and go back to the main menu, and I'm going to say thank you, everyone, for watching. I hope you're all having a wonderful day out there, and thank you so much for watching me play some Dark Crusade, a game I absolutely love and cherish. I was going to say Dark LP. All right, Tau Dark LP. Yeah, I used to play this game all the freaking time. It's a lot of fun, and please join me for the next episode. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Acabane101. I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.